tried multiple times. I made this fix this whole YouTube account to kind of do this. I've been wanting to do some video ideas that I've just never seen before anywhere online, and I thought maybe a complete breakdown of Last of Us 2 was like the one thing I could do, right? Because I've seen people make hour-long videos, people hate it, people love it. I've seen every type of discussion online, on Twitter, from every perspective. And I'm going in this on my second playthrough. This is going to be completely unedited in the worst way possible. We are using a crappy $30 headset plugged into a PS4 remote using the PS4 broadcasting system, as unreliable as that is, completely uploaded stream version to YouTube on basically a brand new YouTube channel that, by all intents and purposes, that no one will ever find. So if this somehow stumbles across anything in front of you, I am sorry. I will be talking and pausing throughout the game as much as possible, but it is a very long game, and I will repeat myself often. I will also have a lot of dead silence. I will forget to talk. And you can so think of it more as this is a experimentation of as well as sort of a breakdown in a layman's term. I am not a writer. I suck at it. I am in fact illiterate. I cannot. I struggled with making this title and I'm pretty sure I misspelled playthrough. This is how bad it is. However, I am a fan of writing. It's very different. I would say I am a above average gamer. However, I am not hardcore, nor am I good at anything. So if you're expecting good gameplay, if you're expecting anything like that, don't. If you're expecting someone who's touched a video game and has basic understanding of how to properly write something without actually being able to write something, then this is where we'll fall into. And I'll talk more about the game as time goes on, and I will be pausing when I feel like it is necessary to talk about particularly important choices. My background with this game is I have beaten The Last of Us 1 14 times by memory, to my knowledge. I have beaten it 12 times on the PS3 and at least twice on PlayStation 4 on the remaster. I have tried on Grounded. I made it to Pittsburgh. Last of Us 1 is a masterclass of a video game. For me, it is one of the best written video games of all time. It is also one of the most interesting video games of all time. I am a giant fan of the first game, and I went into this game knowing the spoilers due to online. However, I chose to turn a blind eye and give it a very fair approach to the game. So I gave it an open choice. And on my first genuine playthrough of the game, I hated it. Not that I hated it from the start. I liked it. And we'll get into all my problems as time goes on with each individual scene, because in order to really talk about this game, I always find it very interesting. Much like Red Dead 2, it's very hard to talk about one aspect of the game without talking about a completely different aspect of the game, because everything seems to lead into another. This is a train wreck of a story with some of the best gameplay. So there is a Last of Us multiplayer game coming out. That's the next thing they're developing after this remake comes out in September of the first game. I am excited for that, mostly because I am if you see video clips online on YouTube, little snippets of combat, it's amazing. When this game wants to be a game, it is a great game. When it wants to be a movie or show, it makes me want to kill myself. And I will be breaking down each reason why for each of these as we go along. I don't know how many parts this is going to be. I don't know how long I will be able to do this. Will it even have a schedule? I hope to do this at least once every Sunday. From now, so next Sunday and then onward, every other Sunday, I will attempt to go back to Last of Us Part 2, even if I don't want to, and I will do this. I will break it down, and it's therapy for me. And I feel like this is therapy for a lot of people. I'm sitting here on the title sequence because we have, there's a lot to digest. First off, I do want to talk about, I'm not just going to be shitting on the game entirely. I will talk about things that I like, and I will repeat myself often. I don't know how well I sound. I don't know how well this will come out. This is completely unscripted, as I've said, and it will remain as such. So you will get almost, and it's been a while since I played the game, so you're getting sort of a mixture of a bunch of different perspectives. Almost a first time viewing, a second time playthrough, a detailed analysis, and it's just it's a jumbled up mess of an experience, and I think it deserves a jumbled up mess of a breakdown. There's more competent, edited, well put together videos talking about different aspects of the game in well meaningful ways. The best, of course, being Nakey Jakey with his, with his breakdown. It's wonderful. But I think for me, I have my own problems, and I have my own opinions that I think are controversial, but I want to explain why I make these decisions. And there's a big one, obviously, in the beginning that everyone knows about this game, that I hate how they do, and we'll get to that, and what I think would have been done. I will also be pitching out my own ideas of what they should have done, and my thoughts on each individual characters as we go on. But all in all, this will be pretty much a breakdown from start to finish, playing the game, pausing when I feel like I need to ramble for a long time, and really what we'll be getting into. And that's sort of I guess you could put that as sort of your opening paragraph as what we'll be jumping into. And obviously, we'll start with the menu. I like this. Come on, Ellie, let's go. Hold on. We got, come on, Ellie. Come on, Ellie. Come on, Ellie. Right. Is that good for everyone? Well, there we go. Nice, giant, bold subtitles. I feel like that's good so anyone can engage. Dialogue. Combat dialogue? Now we're just going to keep story dialogue. We'll break down combat dialogue when I think of it. I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to do this, but I will take it as we go. I'm playing on a base PS4, so... Actually, I'm playing on a PS4 Slim because the last one exploded. But that's a different story. It didn't actually explode, but it died. Overheated, and it sits there, and it will continue to overheat like a jet engine taking off into space until someone, puts some sort of magical gel in it, I think, and then I'll be able to recover my save data. So I did start the intro of this game, and then I stopped. I disliked it that much, and then that kind of led me down this sort of rabbit hole after having fun on Twitter with different people about the game because of the remake of the first game, and it just gave me this idea that I think I do need to do this for, well, my own therapeutic reasons, as well as really breaking down my thoughts, because it's hard to describe, and it's disingenuous for me to say this is the most worst written game I have ever played. It's garbage, and it's not. I think my takeaway from it is that, and I got it out of my first playthrough, was this is a tragic game. It's a tragic game. Not that it's a tragedy, or no, it's tragic because there is a good game, there is good writing here. It is just self-sabotaging, like the first game's brilliant writing is here and amplified and even better at times, but it self-sabotages like an alcoholic. It's like a genius man who can make who's the greatest mathematician, and you're like, man, look at him go. And then you're watching him go on a drinking binge out of nowhere, slamming bottles and bitch slapping the waitress. And you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? No, go back to doing math. But yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, I got to the patrol. But we're starting a new game on moderate difficulty. I am still playing the game. We're not doing on baby mode, and we're not staying here forever. This would be my hell. No. We're staying on moderate. With permadeath, of course. No, we should play on baby mode with permadeath. That's the only way to play this game. Fucking. You have selected moderate. Yes. God, I feel like I've been talking for 30 minutes and I've just started the game. Like I said, I don't know how long this is gonna be. I don't know how good this is gonna sound, and I will try and actually beat the game, start to finish. So let's start with the starting loading screen, which is nice. So in the first game, right, as anyone knows about the fireflies, and this game's whole thing is the moth, right, which is an ugly butterfly, right, and that's sort of its symbolicism of that. This is all interpretation, so keep in mind you may have a different interpretation of these things. The moth is the ugly butterfly. Ellie's a moth. We'll get more into it later, but nice little music. Really let you set in, which is nice. Looking good.
I don't know what happened.
Yes, you do. What do you mean you don't know?
I was supposed to take her to the fireflies and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
You go halfway across the country with someone.
You spent it. Now, the first game, for anyone who doesn't know, the time frame is broken up into seasons. You spent the time of Joel and Ellie going on like their journey to the fireflies is about a little over a year. So they spend about a little over a year together, and they travel quite a distance. It is from was it from Austin all the way to Wyoming to, and then Salt Lake City, I think is where it ends, right? So it's a distance, right? You know, it's quite a distance. Now, I haven't played, I should have probably prefaced this by playing the first game first on my own behind, but I might do that off screen and then come back with better knowledge and whatnot. We spent a year, and the whole thing is they built a bond. That's the dog drinking water. They built the bond, and then they took it, and she took a sort of surrogate daughter to him, like adopting a child. You know, and we'll get into Joel's character. Joel's done, for the most part, well in this game. Like, I'm talking 90%. But, yeah, he goes over this journey, and he's supposed to just turn her into the fireflies and walk away. Now, what happens in that scenario they didn't treat Joel well, nor did he respond appropriately. He responded like someone obviously trying to take away what's his, and he doesn't like that, which makes sense in the first game. Let's hear what he has to say, though.
She needed her immunity to mean something.
That's true. He's right. So to Ellie, sort of right in the first game. We're talking first game Ellie, because it's an important distinction from this game's Ellie that fucking jumps around from my memory, and we'll get into that. Ellie's immunity is seen as a curse. It's not a blessing. It's not nice. She has a death wish. Everyone she has ever loved or cared for has died. Either due to infection, or because of the world, or because of Joel. But that's a different thing that they don't even touch on. But digress. Ellie's immunity at the end of the game felt like, you know, she needed this to feel something, right? She needed to, like, her immunity needed to mean something to her, because at the very least she would, you know, have been worth, you know, all this suffering. She feels responsible for the people's deaths and actions in the first game. Henry and Sam, to Marlene. She doesn't even know that Marlene was alive. You know, her surrogate mother before her surrogate father, Joel. Anyways. All of that, you know, built up of, you know, she's seeing it as a curse, and then with this possibility of a cure, you know, she's thinking, oh, I might actually make something of my life, you know, I'll contribute to something and not just be this burden on people. This curse of a person that curses others. And it's very interesting that she does that. Yeah.
Maybe I was starting to buy into that whole cure business.
What do you mean buy into it? Now, at this point, obviously, you don't know who he's talking to. In fact, you kind of don't know who he's talking to. But, he's like, the whole cure business is that it gets settled that she's a cure very early in the first game. The first season. um, right after Tess. After Tess, will you go lay down? Or sit directly in front of me and demand more food? Either one. Where was it? Yeah, so after Tess, they get into that little tunnel in the subway, and then she's not wearing a mask, obviously, when he is. So he's like, how are you alive, and yada yada yada. That's still the first season. That's before they meet Bill. So after, a year, and they reach the Fireflies, he's already bought into the cure. He's not bought into this idea of a cure. It's no, she is immune.
Maybe I just want to do right by her.
No! Well, that's... Hold on. So, this is good classic Joel. And I'll let's get Joel, sort of a part of Joel, out the way. I think Joel should have died. How he does in this game is not okay. But I think as we can agree that Joel is a piece of shit. He's a garbage person, and he's a monster. He's a monster that justifies horrible actions to himself and others because he believes he's the hero. Not that he is a hero, if that makes sense. Right? He justifies his action. He justifies it to himself and others that what he does, his heinous acts, are not as heinous because he has justified them to himself as such. Therefore, it's okay. Joel thinks it's okay, therefore it's okay, when it's not. That is how Joel operates, and he's still in this game. That is not bad writing, I will say that there. That is a character flaw that remains consistent in this game. Which, all the more why it hurts that this game fails at a lot of key things, because there is great stuff in here. Like Joel. Joel is almost to a T. He is himself. And it's good. Now, we should say, by the way, that Joel is a monster because of justification. A good example of someone who does bad things, but who's not a monster, is someone like, Arthur from Red Dead 2. In no sense, and not once in Red Dead 2, especially if you play a high honored Arthur, does Arthur for one single thing justify his existence, justifies his actions particularly. He never justifies acting like a monster. And Arthur's a really good character, just like Joel. They are two different things, though. Joel justifies his monstrous behavior, making him a monster. Arthur never does, therefore he is not a monster. They both do bad things. They're both anti-heroes. Using the word hero very lightly, so light it could shatter, but they're still heroes, anti-heroes.
We found the Firefly. Because of her, they were actually going to make a cure.
I liked in the first game, you can sort of justify it with Joel. It's like, oh, we're just gonna extract a girl's brain, one chance, one opportunity, and make a cure, just like that. Make a cure. They didn't say make a, preventative thing that will, stop an infection. No, this is straight up cure it, wipe it all out, Boom. Because that's how it works, but...
The only catch. It would kill her.
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing? I won't let you take her.
Alright. We already know who this man is. This is Abby's dad. But here's actually a nice thing that is consistent in the game. So, when you get to that surgery thing in the first game, a nice thing about the game is you don't have to kill all the doctors. You don't even have to kill the fireflies, by the way. The only person you have to kill in this section is literally that man. In Last of Us 1, you have to kill him in order to grab Ellie. You can sneak by every firefly. It's canon that he killed them all, but you can sneak by every combat encounter, but you have to kill him.
This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
If you didn't have subtitles on, you would never know this is Tommy. But who the fuck is Tommy, right?
What do you do?
I believe so. Suspending in 15 minutes.
I saved her.
Yeah. Obviously. Now here's the thing, Tommy and Joel butt heads in the first game. Which makes this really weird here. That Tommy doesn't see Joel's bullshit what he did in the first game. I think, and it's kind of hard to tell. For me, at least, I don't see Tommy, at least right here, picking up that Joel just spat bullshit.
Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Cover the exit. Don't let him get away.
Goddamn. That's some. That's a lot. What does Ellie know? I told her they just ran some tests. I told her her immunity meant nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And she believed you?
That's why I liked the first game. And why when this game got announced, I didn't want it. Because I liked that ending. It was up to interpretation. Now, if you listen to the behind the scenes documentary, obviously, the voice performer, the Ashley, I think what her name is, she sides with Ellie New because she has a quote, this is her quote, a bullshit detection meter. She has a bullshit detector. Yes, that's quote, near quote for quote. And that can be taken as a one way. Like Bill being gay in the first game was up to interpretation. Now, but the actor who played Bill played him like he was gay. But it was done in a very respectful way, which made the politics, obviously, in the Last of Us 1 kind of non-existent, and it was nice. Obviously in the Left Behind DLC, but the politics are a whole different thing. I think the romance in this game is actually handled well. There are parts I like, and I'll get into them. Right here is like, fuck, my brain scattered.
Didn't say otherwise.
Yep. Yeah, she didn't. It was nice that the ending was up to interpretation. It was nice. Because sometimes you don't need everything spelled out. But now it's spelled out here.
We should head back.
It's weird why they like go out here for their private conversation. It's kind of hidden in a house. I thought, they're supposed to be like on patrol and whatnot, but oh wait. Also, this game feels good. The horse feels nice. Last of Us 1's horse is fuck, what was the horse's name in the first game? Shit. Pretty game. Fun fact, most trees in video games are two-dimensional. You can even see it here. Let's go play Ghost of Tsushima for a second. Look at them 4K mountains. Look at that wonderful photo. Literally a photo. Because it's two-dimensional, man. Alright. I'm not just beelining the story. I will say, I will play this like I play video games, which is slow, methodical, and I don't 100% things, I do what's in front of me, which I think most games like this should be played. I will read occasionally. I'm not going to read everything. But I'm going to take this, we're looking at this from both a fan perspective and a casual perspective. So, what would an average casual person do? Also, this is an old headset, so if it cuts out and sounds terrible, that's probably there's a reason. We're gonna go blue screen though for a second because I want to know if this has actually been recording or have I been talking into the void. Alright, I've been not talking into the void. I have not been. Good. Well, I am talking into the void, but it's besides the point. So who is this nigga anyways? Who is this man? He's Tommy from the subtitles, but we don't know who Tommy is. So we just blurred out to a random man our deepest secret Sorry, I just thought it was funny. He knows our name.
Come on. It's okay. I got him. You go on.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Callus, right? Fuck.
Now,
Callus
what we were
was the horse.
talking about earlier. I can't say I'd have done different.
We actually don't know what Tommy would do, but
I'll take it to the grave if I have to.
this conversation's not over. But why is it, though? This conversation would not be over. Old Tommy would not have this be the end.
I'll see you later, Tom.
Oh, there we go, Tommy. But God, it's a pretty game. Most awarded video game. I won't talk about my point yet.
Ellie?
That's a cute detail. I think he's been punched a few times, so he does that little kick back.
I tried knocking, but
Hey,
hey,
what's up, Joel?
just checking in. Folks are, talking about how impressed they are with you and how well you're helping out.
It's good.
Yeah. Tommy, now.
There's awkwardness in this scene, and it's pointed out later, but there's a problem, obviously, with this game. It's in the wrong order, as well as not. It shouldn't be a video game. This game should have been. This story should have been a TV show. They're making a Last of Us TV show, starting with the first, like remaking the first game. It's weird. They remake the first game as a game. They're remaking it as a show. It's like, leave that alone. You know what I mean? What you should have been doing is having a Joel and Ellie TV show that would have focused more about the struggles of Jackson, the town they live in, after, Tommy's town that they come back to, and, watching and sort of seeing Ellie and Joel's relationship develop and teeter based on the different struggles and problems that you would have. However, that doesn't make a good, compelling video game to spend 4 years in a little fucking tiny ass town in the mountains of Wyoming. So I get why we don't do that, but it would be a more compelling and better story with aspects of this game as sort of its own story. What we get, obviously, is garbage. But this scene is deliberately awkward, and you feel it because what transpired, obviously, is that Ellie ran off, and she knows the truth now, right? But we don't know that. Hell, either that's what I'm supposed to interpret, because we actually don't get a know of placement. We get a placement that, you know, she has her arm wrapped because of she just got her tattoo that her girlfriend, Kat, made on for her, which would have been nice to see in a show, but you know, these characters that I talked about, but we don't really get to engage. Pain.
I went out riding the other day, and he told me a joke, and I thought about you. It's oh shoot, no, I forgot it. Something about a clock. How do you?
Joel, it's pretty late, and I gotta get up in a few hours.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna get out of your hair. Just I want to show you something. Just give me 1 second.
God. Not pausing it. I'll wait.
What's this?
I'd say this
Some folks
screams a
stay there,
particular energy that even if you didn't know anything about this game.
You want to hear something?
Okay.
Okay. Promise me that you won't laugh.
It's when he sings a song from 2013 that was just a few months before the apocalypse. It was only performed live, by the way. The song didn't come out until later on, a couple of years later. So what this screams is that he's going to die. Joel is literally built to die. From these engagements that you're getting from him is stupid. Like example, my memory is that of a goldfish. So I've never seen a character more wanting to die by just existing. Like the joke 2 years till retirement kind of thing. That's fucking Harrison Ford is less suicidal about his character with Han Solo than Joel is just existing in this game. This is a cool effect though, because what you do, you might not be able to play if you never have it on the PS4, but you move with the left stick, and then you swipe on the touchpad. And he genuinely is playing the notes. That's actually the hand movements you make. See? I could never play guitar. I tried. I'm left-handed, so I feel like it's out of the question. And I ain't buying a left-handed guitar to try and learn. I pick at strings, and I do alright. He's going to die.
Lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this pain.
This game has wonderful music of its own. It's weird that it also picks, when it has lyrics, it always goes for copyright music.
And I believe 'cause I can see our future days of you and me.
It's too heartfelt. This is right at the beginning of the game, trying to emotionally manipulate us with music to quickly attach to Joel.
Well, that didn't suck.
It didn't. It was a really lovely song. It's in the wrong place, but it's, you know, it's in the wrong place of the actual game. It's in the beginning when it should be later on. It's fine, right? It should be later on, but... So we all know about the time sink, right? I'm calling it time sink. There's probably an actual technical term for this, but it's perfectly exampled. I'll go back to the Red Dead example, because Red Dead does this well. Shut up, Toby. His name is Toby the Toaster. He's a hunger fiend. He's a rescued orphan Jew boy from the streets. Time. Alright. You got 20 minutes. You got... What? I raise a harmless pillow and it silences. We're trying to talk about the concept of a time sink, which is common in video games, Toby. Unless you know about the subject, you shut up in silence. I'm not actually hitting him, I'm hitting the bed. But, yeah. So, example is Red Dead. You give a shit about the characters and their demises because of the... I'm going to spoil a bunch of shit from everywhere. So, if you're worried about that shit, if you're worried about spoilers from everything from Red Dead to fucking whatever decides to pop in my brain at the time, this is your warning now. This is your warning now. I will ramble about anything, everything. I am uncensored. I am completely... This is an uncensored person. I want this to be very clear. I am not a celebrity. I don't care. I am normal man. Okay, I'm not normal man, but I am normal crazy. Alright? So, this will be that's what we're getting at, alright? So, if you care about spoilers about fucking Teletubbies, fucking move on, I guess. More, I guess anything I can point out that would come up would be something like South Park, to Red Dead, to the first game, to this game, to... Fuck. It's a good one. Third person, fucking Metro. I can think of comparisons with the Metro series of video games to anything really that I can think of. If you read books though, you're safe. The last book I read was, if anyone remembers, I didn't get to finish it. Last I remember was, I think it was a rooftop chase scene with the kids, and they were, we were introduced to the character. I think their cat turned out to be a cat-like lady. It's called Red Pyramid. I know, really, really difficult read. You know, Red Pyramid. It's a fucking kid's book, man. It's like baby's first chapter book. That's the last one I can remember. I tried reading fucking Atlas Shrugged because of Bioshock. Oh boy, that is a hard ass read. Not because it's hard to read, but no, it is boring as fuck. I kept losing my place and having to read, and I remember reading about the train schedule 6 fucking times. Yeah, I gave up after the 6th time. I said fuck this. So, anyways. If you read, you're fine, but... Anyways. Fuck. I'm uncensored. I'm saying it's in the wrong place, and we're going back to the time sink. So the more time you put into something, the more you give a shit. That's literally my idea of when I mean an emotional time sink. You give and the more you do and interact with something, the more you care about it. think of the difference between a survival game where you just live in a cave versus, you know, building your home from scratch, getting all the resources. If that resource base got destroyed, you would care way more. Same thing with animals in video games and other media. You know, if the dog dies, you're sad, but if the dog had a name, you're extra sad. Think of Red Dead 2. You give a shit about Arthur because you spend so much time with Arthur that once his demise happens, it's sad and crushing because you spent time with him. You care when Arthur dies, not because you bathed Arthur, you dressed Arthur, you cleaned Arthur's guns, you shaved him, you know, you're sad about the gang members because you went fishing with them, you spent all this time with them, right? You spent time. You're sad about characters' deaths in games and movies and shows. It's because you spent time with them. You feel like you understand them. You don't need... You can be very sad about a character with knowing very little. You don't even need to know their name and you can be sad. There are characters that I forgot the names of, but I'll give them nicknames when I'm watching shows. Fucking... Who's that chick in fucking Attack on Titan? I don't know. If I told you Potato Girl, though, I'd be sad, right? You'd be like, no, Potato Girl? Not Potato Girl. If they say Sasha, you're going to be like, who? Same thing. You don't need to know people's names. You just need to spend time with them and have them likable. Joel is very likable, despite being a piece of shit. However, at least in the second game, I know it's called Part 2, but from the first get-go, you're already like, oh, he's going to die. You're already grieving way before you're supposed to, so it doesn't hit you like it's supposed to. And the second game, and the first game, you know, sets Joel up. And you know what? There's so many fucking flashbacks in this game that if they were just in order, the game was in order, it was a show, you would be sad when he died the way he did. However, he dies horribly. He dies at the hand of a fucking human, first off, which is a problem. I'll get why he should die. He should not have died like he does. And Abby, we'll get to her.
I'll take what I can get.
Yes, you will take my ramblings, good sir. Sorry, I am funny. I studied comedy for many years.
No. No. I don't know the first thing about
I
this.
promised that I'd teach you how to play.
You did.
So what do you say, tomorrow night? First lesson?
Deal.
Okay. Okay.
Do you remember the joke?
What is the downside to eating a clock? It's time consuming.
Thanks, man.
That's so dumb.
Fucking... Sorry. Just imagining Chowder in a stupid fucking picture with him with the comedy gold fucking book. Fucking comedy gold. Also, why was it? clamp. Was the clamp there when he was cleaning? I don't think so. Ow, my eyes. I'm in a dark room. 4 years later.
Shit.
4 years later from what? There's like no time.
Hey,
morning.
Sorry,
It's all
I
out of
totally overslept. Just
order.
give me a minute and I'll get dressed.
I heard you had quite a night after I left.
I love Jesse.
I
I want to say this first off. Right off, right,
She kissed me.
right off the bat. I love Jesse. We'll get why it's sad, but every good thing in this game is shot and killed. Like everything that you enjoy will be shot and executed in front of your eyes. So whatever you find and you like about this game, don't worry. By the end, you will hate it. I make that promise to you.
It was just Dina being Dina. She didn't mean anything by it.
I was talking about your fight with Seth. Wait, you kissed Dina?
Oh. I thought this.
We're broken up 1 week and you make a move on my girl?
No. She was probably just trying to make you jealous. I would never. Oh, fuck, this is awkward.
I'm messing with you, man. I don't care. Get dressed.
Thank you.
Worst.
It's
Stop
kind of
fucking-
fucked up you did that.
So, Jesse is discount Joel. Well, I should say. He's discount. He is a wonderful character, and him, Dina, and Ellie have a very interesting dynamic and relationship with each other as this weird triangle that is the most compelling thing in this game, and it's not really fucked up that much. Also, there's a bunch of little details in this room that we will go over because it's nice. Small details in video games are wonderful. We have a fucking original PS3. Don't you love it? Yes. Remember when they played PS2 games? I remember. Fucking. I had a PS3 once. My mother smashed it in front of my eyes with a hammer. It's a fun story to always tell people. I have a new one. Got a new one later, like a year later. And then I give it to my little brother, and he drops it on the and it drops from his dresser onto the floor, and now it cries when you turn it on. But there's a bunch of little things, like the robot from Sam. Starlight stuff, obviously, because she's a big fan. It's weird that this is like a... Yeah. There's a bunch of little details in here. Brave Limit, is that Naruto, or is that is that... Hold on. Is that Naruto with like the look of Bleach? Is that Naruto Bleach? Also, here's the guitar. What's another one? There's fucking so many details. I think there's a bunch of space shit. All the different collectibles. I think all the Starlight stuff is collectibles from the other things. Fuck. Yo. Why are we playing Last of Us 2, man? I wish they just made a fucking Star Screamers game. Am I right? There's more in here. I know there is. But we'll grab our coat. Grab our pistol. Sad it doesn't pop our ammo count up. That would have been nice.
Sure.
Okay. Can I open it? Okay. So, a writing tip, a writing thing, writing common knowledge, I guess you could put it. So, video games have started doing this. So every medium has its strengths, right? Video games have interactivity, movies have visuals, plays have audience interaction, you know, and sort of this 3D element to it, and physical nature to it. Books had, until video games stole, what you could get from a book that you can't get from what you naturally can't get from a. So it's all about presenting naturally things. Each medium, such as plays, movies, TV shows, books, and video games and music, they all do things better or more naturally, but they all can do. They still share many of the same tools. A book can naturally describe to you a person's inner thoughts. So in a book, when you're reading a book, you know what a character is thinking internally. You don't really get that in a TV show or a movie naturally, if that makes sense. There is inner monologues, and there's soliloquies, I believe is the term, in plays, where the person will literally express how they feel internally, and that's the best way they can do it, but it is no means as natural as when you're genuinely reading the page. And video games could not accomplish this thing naturally in time. What we did have is collectibles and other written mediums that, pages and things you could read in a game. Now, you can't read a whole no one's gonna write an entire fucking book, like a proper chapter book in a game. If you do, you're wasting your time. However, what games like Red Dead and this game do, and I guarantee there's many others. God of War is another one. It's not physical like this one. Even Metro, I believe, even does it, where the way they get around not being able to have internal character thinking and monologuing is that they will literally have the characters write it down and have you being able to read it. Also, I can't read this without this. Dina asked if I was going to go to the dance and she touched my arm. I'm so delusional. Don't be an idiot. She's like that with everybody. Don't fuck up your friendship. Don't fuck up your friendship. Don't fuck up your friendship. Tonight was crazy. I feel scared, elated, anxious. Just gotta sleep it off. Weird. We've started doing this thing, and I like the trend for the most part when it's handled nicely. It's handled. I hate it here because you can easily leave it up to interpretation. If it was written well, like the first game, which didn't have a notebook, it was up to you could leave things to interpretation, right? Which is nice for the player to use their brain. As well, or at the very least, right, when you're doing this here, right, it uses it as a crutch. You genuinely miss out on things if you don't read this. which it should be optional. In order to fully get the plot, I shouldn't have to fucking figure through my fucking menu. Cause it's very important shit in here.
Hey, is Joel up?
Got reports of infected out north. They sent him and Tommy out early to scout.
Why did they
Sucks.
send Joel and Tommy though?
Can't imagine they got much sleep. Definitely not as much as you.
Like, they run the
Shut
town.
up. I was just about to get up. I was.
You got everything?
Yes.
Heads up, you're the talk of the town this morning.
We should have seen this.
Let me see if I got this right. You kissed Dina,
She kissed me.
which triggered Seth to call you a not so nice word.
Yep.
Then Joel decked him,
More of a push.
and then you got mad at Joel. That part confused me.
It was a strange night, man.
Sounds exciting.
We should have stayed in Jackson for a long time. I'm talking hours and hours in Jackson. Building up, going out and doing things. You know, having a problem in Jackson. You know. Part 2 should have been Jackson. I'll say it. Part 2 should have been Jackson with Ellie and Joel, and maybe, if you're weird, Abby's fucking journey to Jackson. And that would have been the game. You could end it, if you wanted it, you could end it with like Abby showing up. You could end it with that scene where, you know, Abby and Sleazeball are looking at the town. Really, I'm serious.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey,
Hell, you could take out Abby's journey actually, and make that's the final stinger,
Hey,
and then we'll explore her journey in part 3, and just have an Abby video game. I know, but if she's written well,
hey, so
you don't need Joel and Ellie.
we're okay, right?
you and me? Yeah, of course. Dina and I are done.
I know. It's just I don't want you to think.
Ellie, we're cool. Promise.
Which is nice. It's actually a cool dynamic. Wow. A triangle that isn't fucking toxic. Semi-unrealistic. Alright, we've beaten the game. I can close app right now. Right?
Yeah, get a good scratch.
We can stop now, right? Because we have reached perfection. Just gotta take a picture of Buckle. Don't mind me. Alright. Oh, there's also dialogue here.
Makes sense.
I mean, fucking electricity from cooped up here forever.
They have their whole life to see wonderful things.
Chances are they're not gonna start at the lake.
Well, I don't want to take a chance. Steven's kid still has nightmares from that infected attack.
So what is the right age for taking them out?
I'm not sure. I just know our kids aren't ready yet.
Fucking kick the snowman. Come on, Ellie. Oh my god, his arm did fall off though. Cool. Said this won't be a hate fest. This will not be
Hey,
a
Ellie.
place of hate. The title might be misleading, but I can't make it a paragraph. I feel like I already did. Hey, cowboy. Oh shit, man. Look. It's a car in 2022. Alright. Remember when we joke about like, remember back then in 1950 when gas was a quarter? You get a candy bar for a dime, you know?
Hi, Jesse.
Oh, hi.
We'll call it an IOU for now, but next week I want to see a fair trade on this table, right?
Oh yeah. Most probably people probably miss this shit.
Now I'm working.
Yeah, they got a blacksmith. They got this whole place figured out and shit, but they don't use it. It's weird that like everyone has like coats that fit them though. They have pelts. Why are these like perfectly stitched outfits? Wouldn't it have been like more accurate to have like everyone having like winter coats that are made and physical?
Want to grab some breakfast?
No.
I'm actually hungry
Where's
myself.
Maria?
In the back.
Who's Maria? It's weird, if you jumped in this... There are people that did jump into this game, I feel like, and didn't play the first game. And especially reviewers who haven't played the first game since
There you are, come here.
2013.
Seth's got something he wants to say to you.
I don't want to hear what that bigot has to say.
Do it for me. Please.
Fine.
So, this one's a bit awkward, right? Because we don't even get to see the scene, it's already kind of... It's like the politics kind of put a bad taste in your mouth. Despite some of it handled quite well. It's actually handled well. But this part makes it so, ugh. It's not important that there was a bigot, right? That's not the important thing isn't, Seth's not important in that scene anyways. It's the fact that Joel pushes him. You could have, by the way, this whole thing, if you're worried about like politics and gender, you can literally replace Ellie with a dude, change no dialogue. You could change like the fact that Seth was like upset. You could be like, you youngins and whatnot. You could make it more about, old man yelling and getting rowdy instead of like anti-gay. Yeah, and it would still have the same effect.
Seth. Seth, come here.
But I like this. I like Seth though, which is weird.
Last night, I was drinking too much.
Sure.
I'm trying to say I'm sorry. Maria tells me that you and Dina are headed out. I made you some sandwiches.
Okay.
This is very real. It's nice.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah. Well, you be safe out there.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
What you got there?
Bigot sandwiches.
Smells good.
They're yours.
You sure?
It's fine.
Love
We'll walk
Jesse.
you out.
Jesse's nice. But it's a very real scene though, which is nice. I like that, Seth tries, obviously sort of made by Maria, which is, you get all of that in that little interaction. This is one of the worst collectibles. Because they're just there.
When you go out, I want you to trade off with Tommy and Joel. Those boys have been up for far too long.
Where do I meet them?
God, them subtitles
to the
them
Northwest Lookout.
fucking
You're scheduled
the
to arrive
size
there
of a
today.
building.
Watch yourself. There's too many sightings of
Alright.
Of course. I was gonna check out the creek trails. I'll need someone else to cover it.
Ellie, you know the creek trails?
Not really.
Dina's done it a bunch. I'll have the two of them take it.
Well, that solves that.
Oh, there's a bunch of little details in this town that are really are pointless. Town meeting, garden management, line dance lessons, leadership meeting, bingo night. Like I said, I don't know how long these are gonna be for. I don't know how I'm gonna do this for. I will try and play this more often. We've yet to get to my big problems with the game, but and we're taking it as we go along, and really what I feel like we need to talk about and this and that, and I'm jumping all over the place, and I know, and I might be very incoherent, but yeah, this will be part 1. We haven't even gotten to the fact. By the way, we haven't gotten to fucking combat. We haven't done shit. We rode a horse and we've walked. Combat tutorials coming up where we fight children. This is why. This was never meant to be a game. So. But we're ending it here. We should probably take short things. I'll more than likely shut up as time goes on and we'll actually get through the game. Upfront ramblings are kind of necessary when you're jumping into something this big. But I hope everyone enjoys it. I do have to take the toaster out. Everyone say hello, toaster. Or wait. Oh wait, there's no one here. Woo. If this ever finds anyone, I'll be shocked to death. But this is more for my own personal thing, and this will be for my own personal archive. More than likely, my wife will probably just watch this. But yeah, suspending, whatever. But I'm gonna close the game, and I'm gonna close the stream, and that'll be it for the day.